Hey there, quirky folks! Marvel just launched the new Thor 4 trailer, and it is absolutely bonkers.
You are not like the other gods of kill. You have something worth fighting for.
Get ready for some thunderous love, people, 'cause it's on! Taika Waititi has written and directed a very beautiful-looking romantic comedy. This was the trailer that we all needed. It gave us a good look at Zeus. Gore the God Butcher got a lot of attention. We got to see Thor in his best look possible, and that is completely naked.
Oh, you flicked too hard, damn it!
But one of the biggest takes from the trailer was Jane Foster and her newly reformed Mjolnir. It was fun to see Thor's reaction when he tried to catch Mjolnir. And then Jane revealed herself by removing her helmet. Even her Mjolnir has new powers, which I'm going to talk about in a short while. But people still want to know exactly how Mjolnir comes back in Thor 4. Well, we have got the answers for you, thanks to multiple set leaks. Initially, it was theorized that maybe Eitri had created a new Mjolnir. After all, he did create a second Uru weapon in Infinity War. But looking at the cracks on this hammer, it is obvious that this is the same Mjolnir we've been seeing so far in the MCU. It is the same one that Hela crushed in Thor Ragnarok. But how did Mew Mew reform and choose Jane Foster to be worthy? Spoiler warning for those who don't want to know exactly what happens, 'cause we've got evidence to substantiate our claims. So, you've been warned.
Something like this has already happened in the comics. In War of the Realms storyline, Volstagg wielded the hammer of the ultimate Thor. But Mangog shattered it into pieces just like Hela did it in Ragnarok. After that, Jane approached the handle of the broken hammer, and she was able to pick it up. What's more is that the broken shards of the hammer magically transformed back into Mjolnir. This could be how Jane becomes worthy in Thor Love and Thunder. Ragnarok was the last time we saw the original Mjolnir. It was shattered in Norway, which is now known as New Asgard.
We've seen how Tonsberg New Asgard has become so developed under King Valkyrie's rule. It has become a tourist spot with big ships approaching the place and everything. And in this development phase, set photos have revealed what the Asgardians did with those shards.
They've built a shrine around the same rock where Odin sat for the last time with his sons. And if you zoom into this photo, you can also see where the shards of Mjolnir are kept. Since no one was worthy to lift those shards, the Asgardians dug the whole piece of ground along with the shards, and they've enclosed it at Odin's memorial site. Now check out this set video. Jane is suspended in the air and she seems to be powering up. This is the moment when she might wield Mjolnir. So, it is confirmed that Jane will go to New Asgard and the hammer could reform just like it did in the books.
This will all happen behind the scenes on Earth while Thor is hanging around with the Asgardians. And as Valkyrie and Korg call him back, Thor will return to fight the battle against Gore. And this is when he'll find Jane, who seems to have been the mighty Thor for a while now. Maybe after she picked up the hammer, the new Asgardians took her in as their new Thor. And it's fun to see the new powers that this hammer now has. When Jane stepped into battle on Olympus, she attacked with all the thunder shards of this hammer, which split into pieces and took down multiple enemies at once. This was something Thor could never do. It looks like Jane's worthiness of this power is constantly keeping the hammer intact, and it could come apart as and when Jane wants it to.
But how will she prove to be worthy all of a sudden? Was she always worthy? It has been confirmed that Jane will go through her cancer arc from the comics. Or at least, Taika Waititi will give us a different variant of the story. In the books, Jane also lifted the hammer after the original Sin storyline. Here, Thor lost his worthiness and he couldn't wield Mjolnir anymore. At this moment, Jane was going through her chemotherapy as she was suffering from cancer. But after Thor lost his worthiness, she thought that the Nine Realms needed a Thor. So, she stepped up and found out that she was able to lift the hammer. Upon wielding it, she turned into the mighty Thor. But being Thor came at a cost. Every time she lifted the hammer and transformed into Thor, her treatment kept getting reversed and her condition worsened. But she still continued to fight for those who couldn't defend themselves. That was the true essence of her worthiness. Even in her frail condition, she thought of others and didn't back down. Since the MCU is doing a version of this story, we could imagine that Jane's cancer developed a few years after she came in contact with the ether. Holding the ether could have messed up her body. But maybe Jane didn't get cancer from the Reality Stone. There are a couple of MCU canon books which might reveal how she'd unlock her worthiness from Mjolnir. In Marvel's The Cosmic Quest Volume 2 Aftermath, we were told what Jane was up to after the events of the snap. She was on a mission to figure out what caused the snap. The book reveals that her contact with the ether gave her a sort of cosmic awareness. She was able to sense that the Infinity Stones caused the snap events. Then she arrived at Tonsberg, Norway, aka New Asgard. Here, she taps into the waters of sight and gets a vision just like Thor got one in Age of Ultron. The vision shows her the history of the stones and how Thanos snapped his fingers. The book ultimately revealed that Jane got some kind of cosmic awareness. And this is an ability that is reserved for the most powerful beings of the universe in the comics. Adam Warlock has it. Captain Marvel has it. So if Jane has it in the MCU, then it might be the key that unlocks her worthiness when she reaches the Shrine of Odin in Love and Thunder. All in all, we have a good idea of how Jane gets Mjolnir and becomes a mighty Thor in the MCU now. Are you excited about Thor Love and Thunder? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!